Thank you for joining me today. My name is Tanisha McCullough with Worksource Fulton, and I will be giving you some quick interview tips. So today I'll quickly discuss what to do before, during, and after an interview, and also I'll talk briefly about virtual interviews. So before the interview, always research prior to your interview. Look up company information like their mission statement. Try to understand and determine what their culture is. What would it be like to work there? Is there room for growth? Do you want to grow with that company? And really, the overall question would be, why do you want to work there? Is that the best fit for you? Ways to search will be via their company site. You can look on their social media pages, on LinkedIn. You can also Google. Finally, you can ask your connections. Maybe you know somebody who already works there or has worked there in the past. What was their experience? Also, you want to get to know maybe some of their competitors and maybe what it's like to work in that industry. You want to read the job description before the interview. Really, what does that job entail? What skills do you have for that position? Maybe what areas are you lacking? You want to be able to explain what your actual skills are and how you will make up for the lack of skills that maybe you're missing. And finally, you want to explain what you know about the company and that you'll be able to fit into their culture. Finally, you want to dress to impress. You have two options. One would be maybe more business casual. So depending on the type of company, maybe they have a more business casual attire or casual attire. If their attire is business casual or casual, you may want to go with a business casual outfit for your interview. So for women, that could be something as simple as a skirt and a blouse or pants and a blouse. And for men, long sleeve button down shirt and pants and some dress shoes. Now, if they are a more business professional type company, women, you want to wear maybe a blazer with your outfit, and same thing with men, and add a tie as well. You want to practice some questions. So there's 4 common types of interview questions. 4 being about you, about the company, what skills you bring, and what sets you apart. So about you could be questions about your previous work experience, maybe why you left your last position, maybe some of your strengths and weaknesses. If you don't have any work experience, you want to talk about your soft skills and what you can bring to the table. Second, you want to talk about the company. What did you learn about them? Why did you want to work there? What did you find out that interests you in working for that company? Third, what skills you bring. Even if you don't have experience, you do have some skills that you're able to bring to the table. It could be customer service skills. Maybe you volunteered before. Make sure you talk about those things in your interview. And what sets you apart? How are you different from any other candidate? Make sure you explain to them why you want to work there, what skills you have, and how you think you'll fit into the company culture. Always prepare questions the day before your interview or a few days before your interview. You can even write them out on a notepad and take the notepad with you. Never ask about salary until an offer is being made or the employer actually brings up the salary for the position. The day before the interview, you want to prepare yourself. You want to put some resumes together, have several printed out. Even if it's a virtual interview, make sure you have emailed your resume to the interviewee. Make sure you know where the location is and familiarize yourself with where you need to go. Also, find an alternative route. You never know about traffic here in Atlanta. Practice, practice, practice. I can't say that enough. Practice interview questions prior to going to the interview. Not to say that what you practice may be some of the questions that they ask, but there are some very common interview questions most interviewers will ask you. And finally, just claim it. Get the job, do the work, prepare yourself ahead of time so that you can get rid of some of those jitters. And finally, the interview. Just a few tips when you're there prior to having your interview, during the interview, and after your interview. Make sure you arrive early. It never looks good to be late. One of my mottos is, If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. So make sure you arrive early. You're able to relax and get comfortable so you can get prepared for your interview. Always greet the receptionist and be respectful to them. That is your first part of your interview, is when you greet that receptionist. And also, just be confident. Not overly confident, of course, but hopefully once you get there, you're able to arrive early. You can be confident in your ability to ace that interview. And then when you open the interview, you know the person's name, use their name or ask their name. They may tell you ahead of time. Make sure you shake their hand and give them a nice firm handshake. Introduce yourself, and then finally offer them a resume. And then when you close the interview, be strong and be confident. Make sure you impress them by leaving a lasting impression. Summarize your skills in the interview you just gave them and your abilities and why they should hire you. Ask for a card. Always get contact information so that you can send a thank you note. And then finally, make sure you ask questions at the end. And then after the interview, which a lot of people don't do, follow up with a thank you letter. Thank you letter really helps them leave a lasting impression of you. Even if it's after the interview, an email is a perfect way to say thank you. So make sure you gather any contact information you can for all the folks that have interviewed you. And then I'm going to touch on virtual interviews. Make sure you test your equipment ahead of time. If there's an app that's required, please make sure you download it ahead of time and practice actually using that app. Make sure you have a very solid internet connection. It's really important that you're somewhere where you won't have interruption of service. Always still wear professional attire. They probably want to see your visual face. And it's important that you have something at least that looks casual or business casual. Make sure there are no distractions. I know that's hard when you're at home, kids, phones, TVs, maybe the doorbell rings, but do your very best to make sure that there is little distractions during your interview. And finally, always use professional body language no matter what. People pay attention to body language even through virtual interviews. I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this recording today. I hope you learned a few things. Have a great day.